is going on, Bucs fans and CFP fans? Evan Wanish here, back at you today. Another video talking about the Buccaneers. And I'm not alone today. We are going to be continuing our position group previews, which we have been doing on the channel for the past few weeks. You can check out the entirety of the offensive side of the ball, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, even the offensive line. You can check out all those position group previews that are now on the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be turning over to the defensive side of the football. I'm not alone, however, today. Today, I am joined by Mr. Bucs Nation on YouTube, a.k.a. James Hill. He's been on our show a bunch. We've been on his show a bunch. You know him well. You know him good. James, how you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. We're going to be talking about this Buccaneers defensive line, the expectations for the Buccaneers defensive line. Now, a quick, clarification. We are not going to be talking about the pass rushers per se, all right? We are going to be talking about the guys that are going to have their hands in the dirt, the guys like Calijah, Kancey, Vita, those types of guys. The pass rushers will be talked about in a later video, just not this particular video. So if you're wondering why we're not talking about guys like Joe Tryon-Schwenka and Yaya Diaby, that's why.
Interior defensive line.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
is what they call it.
So right now on the Buccaneers website, the guys that are listed, obviously not every single one of these guys will make the roster, but we have Eric Banks, CJ Brewer, Judge Culpepper, who, fun fact, is actually the son of former Buccaneer Brad Culpepper. So that's a fun thing there. I'm going to butcher this name, but Lawal Yugiak, undrafted rookie out of TCU.
Lawal Yu-Gi-Oh.
I thought you were being serious there for a second. And then, of course, we have guys like Greg Gaines, Will Golston, Mike Green, Logan Hall, Calijah, Kancey, and Big Vita. So, James, when looking at this group, obviously you have Calijah, Kancey. Not much has changed, right? They didn't really make any additions, any major additions. It's probably going to be the same starters as it was last year. I think Calijah, Kancey probably gets a bigger role. Guys like even Will Golston, is back for yet another season in Tampa Bay. So when you're looking at the overall makeup of this defensive line, what sort of stands out to you?
I think that the biggest thing that this group's success is going to ride on is Vita and Calijah Kancey. Because after that, just feels like a lot of guys, like nobody really, like maybe Greg Gaines can give you a little something. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I feel like a lot of people have kind of sailed the ship on Logan Hall. Interesting take here, Evan. And I want your thoughts and opinions on it. Is it crazy to think that Will Golston will start over Logan Hall this upcoming season?
I don't think it's crazy. I don't know how likely it is, though. I think they still, of course, Jason Light will, right? Drafted him. Like, they still want Logan Hall to really pan out. Like, I don't think they want to completely give up on him. But I think last season was a pretty big year for Logan Hall, and it just didn't come together. Year two. Now he's entering year three. Hasn't really shown you much, right? And I think it's sort of now or never for a guy like Logan Hall. Would it surprise me if a guy like Will Golston is starting, especially in obvious run situations? Probably not. But I also think I don't think they're not going to give Logan Hall any opportunities. I don't think this is like a Keyshawn Vaughn type situation a few years ago where even though he's a third round pick, they just didn't play him. I still think they're going to want to play Logan Hall and give him some opportunities. And hey, maybe he turns out to be something. Right now, the early returns are not looking too great. I do think it speaks volumes that they felt the need to bring back Greg Gaines and Will Golston for yet another season. Especially a guy like Will Golston, who is closer to the end of his career, obviously. Doesn't really provide much in the pass rush area. A pretty good veteran, but not great for Logan Hall. But I do agree with you that, it's basically Vita and Calijah Kancey, right? And that's a good thing because both of them, I think, are really good football players. Vita is one of the best defensive linemen here in the entire NFL. I think Calijah Kancey has the potential to be one of the better defensive linemen in the NFL. Obviously not there yet. But that's also a bad thing because we're only mentioning two guys here. Depth, I think, is slightly an issue, right? We talked about Logan Hall, Will Golston, Greg Gaines. That's pretty much it. And while, like you mentioned, I like that, right? You said just kind of guys, right? And, if you got Vita Vea right up the middle there, Kalijah Kancey next to him, but other than that, who else is really going to disrupt the quarterback from the interior? Right, they drafted Calijah Kancey because they wanted more disruption up front there. They were hoping Logan Hall would be that dude, but it really hasn't worked. So I do agree with you. That, like I said, I think it's a good thing, but a bad thing that they're going to be relying upon guys like Vita Vea and Calijah Kancey a lot this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you had a situation where one of those guys wasn't there, right? Like, if they wouldn't have been drafted or not been on the team, you'd be looking at a tough situation right now, like
imagine if this team didn't have Calijah Kancey right now.
Yeah, like it'd be not a great unit right now, like I think right now, even with Kancey and Vita Vea, you think like, okay, this is an okay unit, right? Because like you said, Vita Vea is a game changer just like because of his overall size and ability. And Calijah Kancey, me and you have both said this multiple times on our respective channels. Like we both think that Calijah Kancey is going to have a pretty good year this upcoming season, but they're also banking on a lot of young, inexperienced depth to kind of, be on this roster, right? And part of that, like you do say, like you said, part of that is taken away a little bit because you did bring back Will Golston and Greg Gaines, but that's not a great look for Logan Hall. Could again, like maybe Greg Gaines could start at DN, maybe Will Golston could start at DN over a guy like Logan Hall. Like you said, I think they're going to give him every single chance, but like it is a little concerning that like you don't feel great about one of your starting positions, and that's kind of a theme on this defense right now, where you feel good maybe about one of your starters, but then there's another starter that's playing right next to them where you're like, I don't know about this. Yeah. But that's kind of how the Bucs have had to work this offseason.
Yeah, and I mean it's worked in the past, like it's paid off for them at times. We'll see if it does this time though. It is a risk. But they're familiar with either both Gaines and Golston, and who knows, man, if Logan Hall takes that jump, it could you talk about Vita Vea being the game changer, and I'm not talking about Logan Hall being the game changer in terms of talent, but like as far as the defense goes, if Logan Hall takes a jump, that could be a game changer for the Bucs defense.
That would be such a tremendous help, and I know we have to say this all the time. We don't want Logan Hall to fail, guys.
We're not rooting against him.
Yeah, we're discussing what we've seen so far and what could potentially happen somewhere down the line. But if Logan Hall does flip that switch, which we've seen plenty of players do in the past before, like I agree with you. That's pretty dang good for the Bucs. Where like if Logan Hall is like a 5-sack defensive lineman and gets you like 10 tackles for loss.
Perfect.
That's so good. Whenever you pair it up with like Vita Vea and Calijah Kancey, man, like that's a good unit right there. But that's a big if, right? And that's one of the bigger question marks, I think, in a lot of Bucs fans' minds, where it's like you sit there and you go, okay, I feel good about Vita Vea. I feel good about Calijah Kancey. What's going on at that other end, though? That's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah, a lot of questions coming up for the Buccaneers this coming season. And hey, they might get some answers on that sooner rather than later. Training camp and the preseason coming up. Maybe Logan Hall looks pretty good there. But let me know what you guys think about Logan Hall. Do you think he's a bust? Do you think there's still some potential there? Do you think he's going to get a lot of opportunity? Do you think that Will Golston or Greg Gaines could potentially, play a little more than him? What do you guys think about Calijah Kancey and his future, his potential? You think he has another step here in a sophomore season? And of course, big Vita Vea up there in the middle. Let me know what you guys think about the defensive line. James, thank you so much for joining me. Everybody check him out, Mr. Bucs Nation on YouTube. I'm sure if you're watching this, you also watch him. So thanks a lot for joining me. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go Bucs.